All right, next question. Do you make an H1 heading for your main keyword? And that is a really good question. And I'm going to be honest with you on what I've understood about how search works. It's generally, that first crawl of your content that gives clues to the search engines about what to serve your page for. After that first crawl, after they've introduced your page and see how it performs, your content becomes less important. It's the links that kind of get you to the bottom of the search results, and it's how users interact with your search result. As beautiful as it hopefully is with all its great rich markup and convincing titles and descriptions, and when they get to your page, do they stay or do they return to the search results? So it's really, it starts with content, then it goes to links, then it goes to user behavior, and the other two become less and less important over time. So I would say, yes, it is going to be important in the beginning about what you do with your H1 tag, but long term, it's really not going to matter quite as much. So here's how we look at page level optimization. Here's how we beat Olive Garden last week for the term pasta and breadsticks.
Whoa.
So what we did is we said, here's from all of our keyword research around these particular items, these products that you sell. This keyword is the most searched of that group, and it's all of the keywords are relevant, right? We took out all the ones that are irrelevant. This one's the most searched, so we're going to put this into our HTML title so that search engines and users see it first, right? The user sees it in the search result, and Google hits that title tag before anything else. So we put our most searched for keyword there. We use the H1 tag for the second most searched term. Even if it was a derivative, we try to get that second most term in our H1 tag. Third, fourth, fifth, we put into subheadings. Sometimes they're so similar or they're singular plural that we kind of skip it and go to the next one down, because otherwise it just looks like keyword stuffing. So you want to make sure that each heading and subheading are unique and helpful to the user. So we'll modify it with text that includes the search term but isn't sort of shoving the keyword down the reader's throat, right? So I would say the H1 on each page should be unique of the other H1s that you have on the website. It should only be one H1. There are special circumstances where it might make sense to use more than one, but it's very rare. And it would be your second most term in the cluster of keywords that will benefit you. So that way your page appears for a wider array of keywords, and you're not just keyword stuffing your title, description, heading, subheadings, and annoying the user, and obviously flagging your page for being spam.
So here's a question, Steve. When you show your H1 on the page high up, right, probably above the fold, if they click into a title but you're putting in a different H1, would that confuse the users at all?
It's not different. It's usually it's a derivative or it's semantic to the term that you
Got
want to
it.
use. Yeah.
So it's still sort of the same expectation. Because for the most part, I've seen like when people do a title and then they'll do like a completely different H1,
Yeah.
I'll see a higher bounce rate because they'll click into it and they'll be like, oh, I wasn't expecting pears. I'm looking for
Right.
apples, right?
Yep. Yeah. You
But
always you always want to make sure you're solving the user's intent with whatever word you're using. That's why I said I prune out all the irrelevant keywords to focus on what they're really looking for. And one example, by the way, if you do a search for title tag principles, there's this old page that I have from like 2009 that's still out there. I think it was an old blog post before I moved to not doing my best content on blog posts. And the funny part was somebody said, "Hey, how come you don't repeat back the same thing in the title that you do in the description?" It's like, I don't want to be repetitive, but I want to make sure the point gets across. So it's, learn title tag principles that help, improve CTR and SEO ranking. And then in the description, I'll say something similar, but different. I might write out search engine optimization instead of SEO, or I might use click-through rate instead of CTR. I'll say the same thing but differently, so I'm not just repeating the same thing over and over and over again. Otherwise, you sound like a broken record.
mm-hmm. Nice.